About 3 years ago, when monsters attacked Iceland, a group of hunters was there to fight with them, but the monsters were way more powerful than the hunters and were killing the hunters brutally. This was intense and everyone lost hope, but suddenly Byung came, killed the monster, and started healing the hunters. He was about to be attacked by a monster, but Yunseok and Beck saved him by killing the monster. This was an S-ranked group of hunters, and they killed the monsters with their extraordinary powers. Suddenly a white-colored monster appeared, and it was more powerful, but the hunters attacked it and killed it. It was an amazing attack. Suddenly some other monsters like the white one started appearing, but the hunters were also ready to attack them back. They raised their powers and started killing the monsters. It was a mouth-watering scene, which you have to watch sincerely. Joy was also ready to blow you away. So keep the seatbelts and let the fight begin. This doesn't start suddenly. Before 10 years, gates started appearing from other dimensions and monsters were appearing. The humans also got powers to kill them. According to their fighting skills and the number of magical powers they got, they were ranked as S, A, B, C, D, and E, which was the weakest one. But one can be skilled by practicing. Now in the present day, a gate was opened, and Kim met with Park. They started talking and suddenly Sung, the legendary man, came, and everyone started praising his skills, but Kim told Park that in reality he was a useless and powerless slang. Everyone was whispering about him, and he had heard everything very clearly. Jui came to him and started consoling him that he always gets into trouble when he tries to fight, and yelled at him that he must have to leave such a rubbish job. But he wanted to continue, and they went to the gate. Song, the leader of the group, told them to get prepared, and they started going inside. Jui also went in and took out his knife and thought that even it was useless, but yeah, it was better than nothing. He went inside too. And on the other side, Go was talking with Wu and told him that the administration still wanted the same thing, the essence stones that hunters collect and sell after killing the monsters. Sung had also got one, and he was happy, but this man, again attacked by a goblin, and his knife got broken and he was injured. Park rescued him and Jui started healing him. The stones were the real gems because they were used as equipment, and Go told Wu that the administration wanted to use these essence stones as an energy source because it was more environment friendly than the other fossil fuels. Sung with his team had cleared the monsters. Sung was guilty because he could collect only one stone, and suddenly one of them found a cave. Song told them that it might be dangerous to go in, but some wanted to go inside, and they voted for it. It was a 50-50 tie. Sung's vote would make the final decision, and he thought that his father was missing, and he had to pay for his mother's treatment and his sister's fee, so he said yes. On the other side, new hunters were checking their ranks, and Choi's assistant called him that he had assigned new hunters. While on the road, a girl's mystery box got stolen, but Hae got the bag back from the burglars and returned it to the girl. People started gathering to praise her, and she got stressed and she flew away with her tall legs. While going, Sung apologized to Juhee because she didn't want to come inside, but she said he didn't have to. She told him that he had to be familiar with the fact that he was weak, and it was dangerous for him to fight. She asked for a treat because she had saved him earlier, and suddenly, they found a door. Sung opened it and they went inside. There were weird kind of huge statues, and everyone was surprised that there were no monsters. They also read the warnings written there, and Juhee told Sung that the statue's eyes were watching them, but he didn't give her any serious attention. Suddenly the door closed, and when one of them tried to open it and leave, everyone was shocked because one of the statues moved and killed him in one move. Sung's pants got tight to him, and he noticed the statue's eyes because he had a looser till now and he hadn't been able to get any loot from the dungeons. He always hid himself and suddenly told everyone to get down. It was a hell's view. Everyone was shocked, and Juhee was out of form and frustrated. Everyone was panicked, and when Song came to Sung to appreciate his notifying, Sung noticed that Song's arm was lost. Sung asked him to stop the bleeding because the only healer they were with, Juhee, was out of her senses. Song said that he had been in D-ranked dungeons for so many times, but this might be an A-ranked or S-ranked dungeon. Song remembered the warning when they came there, and Sung said the warning might be pointing towards the big statue. On the other side, Jaina and Yi were classmates, and he asked Jaina about his brother's job. Jaina told him that he was very weak and he always fell into bandages. Yi believed that she would be a good hunter, and one of the hunters tried to get out of that stupid room using his powers, and in no second, he was also killed. Everyone was again shocked to death. Sung was thinking something, and suddenly he asked about the commandments. Sung told him, and he got an idea. He stood up with heavy legs, and the statue was about to attack, but Sung bowed his head and told everyone to do the same. Everyone did the same, and the statue was relaxed for a minute. Suddenly the statue smiled like a freak, and Park was scared. He stood up and nothing happened. Everyone was relaxed and Sung was still lost. Suddenly the statue stood up and started walking. This was a terrible thing. Everyone was scared, and Sung said the second commandment was to praise God, and one of the hunters tried to use his skill to praise it, but the statue killed him brutally. Everyone screamed because now it was their turn. They started running, and another also got killed. Park tried to save himself for his family but ended up killed too. Sung was running holding Juhe's hand and he was thinking about the other commandment to praise God. He suddenly noticed the other statues with instruments and told everyone to go to the statues with instruments, and when the hunters did it, the statue played a piece of music and they were safe. Sung and Juhe ended up at a statue, but it didn't play the music, so Sung ran to the other statue to save his life. This wasn't very easy because the big statue was after him and he didn't want to have died like a shit. He was attacked but he didn't lose hope and kept on scrolling. Juhe was yelling, and he made it to reach the statue. Juhe came to him and saw his broken leg. She was guilty, and she started healing him, but she was also very weak because the wound was sworn. Everyone started blaming Sung because he was the leader, and suddenly a floor appeared in the center and Sung told them that according to the third commandment, they had to prove their faith in God. Kim asked Sung to do so and he went there, and a flame fired up. Sung also asked to go there and 2 hunters helped him. 3 flames fired up this time. On Sung's asking, he said he didn't think that something would happen, but Sung told him that it had taken 7 days to open the gate completely, and Sung thought that after 7 days when the gate got opened, the monsters went to the real world, and this was what called a real danger. On the other side, Jaina went to her mother at the hospital, and she started talking with her body. Now everyone was inside the center, and suddenly a blue light fired up after the fire. Suddenly the door opened, and the statues started moving towards them. They were scared and Sung told them to look at the eyes of the statues and they stopped. Suddenly a girl got scared and she ran out, of fire disappeared. The door closed a little and Sung thought that it might be a trap, and the other hunter also lost his patience and went out. Another fire also disappeared. Sung told them to stay tight because the blue fire was like a timer and after that, they would be safe. But Kim started crying and said that he had a family who was waiting for him, and he couldn't die like this, and he went out. Sung was crying and Sung told Sung to leave with Juhe, but Sung told them to leave. Juhe wasn't able to move herself and Sung gave her the stone to buy herself dinner, and he forced Sung to leave with her and Sung took her with himself and left. A great man was alone on a battlefield made by himself, and he didn't lose his determination and he started resisting the attacks of the statues. He was losing his body parts and was sad that he was also like the others. He also had a family who was waiting for him, and he also wanted to go out like others. The floor was covered with his blood, and he was still alive. He just wanted another chance, and he was about to be attacked, but suddenly the blue fire disappeared, and he got a notification. He chose yes. In the ruined place he was taking his last breaths, and he got the notification. He woke up suddenly and noticed that he was alright, and he was in the hospital. He thought that it was just a dream. But suddenly Wu and Kong from the Hunters Association came to him and told them that he was unconscious for 3 days and Song lost his arm and left the hunter's job. Juhe was also not in good condition. Wu told him that when the White Tiger Guild went there, they found him unconscious, and the statues disappeared, and said that it was thought that he might be awakened again. Sung thought that a hunter's powers were determined by his awakening, and this remained the same for his entire life, but if awakening happened again then the rank would be increased, and he got excited. When he placed his hand on the stone it showed nothing new and special, and Wu apologized to him, and they left. Sung was also disappointed and suddenly he got a screen showing the notification that he had some unread messages. He tried to touch it and came to know that it wasn't a touch panel, and he remembered that he got a notification lately too. Jaina came to him, and she was angry with him because he always created a mess by ending up in the hospital. She blackmailed him that if he did something like that again then she would also find a job. He relaxed her and asked how to read the messages from the games, and she told him by going to the message box. Jaina left, and he was waiting for her outside. Sung started reading the messages and he got a daily quest of workout, but he ignored it and lay down. Wu informed Go that Sung didn't awaken for the second time and he was a little upset. Choi offered a job to Hei, but she wasn't interested. Choi was pushing her to be an example for others and she had no choice. At night a gate opened in the city and people were stressed. A screen opened for Sung and he got the penalty to complete the quest. He went to a desert and suddenly a monster started following him and he was running to save himself. Nurses also didn't find him in the room, but the lazy man was running to save his life this time again. When the time ended, he came back to the hospital automatically and the nurses were also relaxed to see him. Now from the next day, he started behaving like a good man and Juhe got a phone call for a job and came to know that Sung was alright. She was happy a bit and she went to meet him in the hospital, and he was working out to maintain his physique. When she saw him, she left without meeting him. Sung was putting all of his points into his strengths. He was very happy, and the other patients were staring at him. For his work hard he also got a mystery box and got a key out of it which could open gates for him. Now Sung went to meet his mother in the hospital and she was still unconscious. He remembered how it happened 4 years ago. One day his mother was unconscious, and the doctors told them that she was in a state like coma and she needed a complete provision of doctors. He got a job, and while working he felt something and came to know that he was a hunter. But his life got more troubled because he was an E-ranked hunter and got nothing but failure all the time. He was a loser till now, but he made up his mind and went out. He opened a gate with that key and went inside it. He was shocked that he couldn't go out and no one else was able to see the gate either. He wasn't able to kill monsters till now, and in the present time he was all alone. He made a decision and went downstairs. He was scared a bit and suddenly he got attacked by 3 goblins, but he resisted it very well. He managed to kill them very brutally and suddenly got another attack by a wolf. He was facing it and the wolf was about to attack him. Would Sung be able to save himself this time too? Subscribe to the channel for the latest updates.